Have you ever heard of hot dog hula hoop? Never mind, and don't Google it for the love of God. Today we're going to talk with Boys and Girls Clubs about investing in young people. The school year is back, the Pedaling for Peace event is on the way, and redistricting is all the rage across America. Roll it, Kirk. Seriously, don't Google hot dog hula hoop. Redistricting is a conversation happening in our nation's capital, and it's permeating across our country. So we're going to talk politics. You know we have to have the man to talk politics, John Couvillon, JMC Polling and Analytics. And so in the state of Texas right now, they're kind of leading off this discussion. As you may have heard, there is this debate over whether or not they should redraw congressional lines, which would give Republicans about 5 additional seats in the House of Representatives. Members of the state's Democratic Party have fled the state so as not to be in the legislature while they're going through this process. Why does that matter to you here in Baton Rouge or any part of the capital region? It's because that discussion is coming here in the fall, John, because the 6th congressional district, look at this monstrosity. Alyssa's going to hate it, but I'm touching the screen. And look at the size of this. It's a combination of Baton Rouge all the way to Caddo Parish. Make it make sense, JC.
So anytime we talk about redistricting, I have to give my 3 obligatory disclaimers. Number 1, despite what experts will tell you, it is an inherently political and ugly process. Number 2, the fact that the law is contradictory on redistricting. And number 3, the reality is there's no saints. In other words, both Democrats and Republicans are engaged in various trickery and perniciousness. So
Perniciousness. I like.
So anytime somebody tries to say, well, it's such and such's fault, well, I'm sorry. Both parties are engaged in this race to the bottom, just in different ways. And that, of course, is the artwork that you see here. Incidentally, this district here is almost identical to a 4th congressional district that was drawn for former and, of course, current Congressman Cleo Fields, that was in existence for the 1994 election,
right,
and was struck down by the Supreme Court. It had an almost identical configuration of Baton Rouge to Shreveport. The first Cleo Fields district from 1992 to 1994, which also was struck down, that was known as the Tomato Rot District, which what that did was it literally meandered all over the state and included black neighborhoods in just about every part of the state, with 2 exceptions, Lake Charles and New Orleans. In other words, it was that meandering to where it picked up pockets in Shreveport and Ruston and Monroe and Alexandria and Lafayette and Baton Rouge, and a little thin string of territory through Livingston Parish connected the pieces. That was version number 1. This is version number 2 and version number 3 of districts that have, let's just say, been an artwork challenge.
So let's talk about what the process looks like going forward. So we're expected to have a judge determine whether or not this district as it is currently configured is legal. And if the judge decides this is legal, everyone goes back to what they're doing. If a judge decides, hey, you got to redraw this isn't, because I mean, you created a contiguous connection by drawing the line around parishes. If a judge kicks it back, what happens then?
So there's really 2 parts, and right now it's up at the Supreme Court level. And what you'll recall is that the Supreme Court was supposed to have made a decision about this at the end of the past term, but they basically went into overtime, meaning they're seeking additional information, and most likely they're going to render a decision, I think, early in the next term, which starts in October. So the 2 pieces I'm referring to is the question of, number 1, what happens to this district, and number 2, on a much broader scope, what happens to Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And so,
which is what this is all about. This is subject to what's the requirements in the Voting Rights Act, and that is Louisiana's population is about 33 1/3 African American, which means we have 6 congressional seats in the House. 2 of those seats, by virtue of being a third, should be African American or majority minority seats, right?
Well, where it gets interesting, and this is going back to the second kind of obligatory disclaimer where I said the laws were wildly contradictory. So you have a 1986 court ruling called the Jingles case, which does spell out that, if you have an identifiable and cohesive racial minority and it is a reasonably compact district, and note the words reasonably compact, and that they're supposed to be allowed to have a district where it could elect a candidate of their choice. That goes up against other rulings where if you go too wild in terms of the district line drawing, such as nice thin districts here, to create.
Look at this, man. Look at this, man.
I guess a little thin string of. It's literally like 1 or 2 precincts wide in this part of Caddo Parish.
Look, Alyssa just had a heart attack because the screen moved. All right, so if you were drawing the district, if you were going to do it, how differently would you do it?
Well, this gets controversial because if you have 2 extremes, you have one extreme which is appropriate racial representation, which, by the way, the 1982 Voting Rights Act revision said that you do not have to have proportionality. Number 2, you have compactness. So I'm not going to go much further than that because this is such a controversial subject.
It very much is.
But what I can tell you is that if you want to go above the magic line of 50% of black registered voters, you have to do funny business like this, because you basically have several population centers where a substantial part of the black population in Louisiana resides. Shreveport has a large one,
East Baton Rouge,
and then Orleans Parish.
Yeah.
Well, Orleans and parts of the West Bank of Jefferson, you have to have a separate congressional district for that, and that was established technically in 1984.
Yeah.
And so if you were to say try to take territory from here, then all of a sudden you're making this.
You impact Congressman Carter's district.
Correct.
All right, so this is not going away. This is kind of a primer. I could sit and talk politics with John for like 5 hours and it would never get boring. So when this switches to the next thing, or if there's new news out of Texas, can I get you back?
Absolutely.
JMC Analytics Polling. Check him out online. He is the best in the business. All right, coming up next, Peddling for Peace. An event takes place next Friday. Councilwoman Twahna Harris is here to tell you all about it next. And here's where you can get in contact with us if you'd like to be on the show. And by the way, for all you with ADD who looked up the hot dog video, blame Kirk Michelet. So I don't even know what to say about commercial break at this show. Angel Nelson, who's in the next segment, is giving out mountain bikes. I don't know why we need mountain bikes in Baton Rouge. Tawana is talking about the Doobie Brothers and laid back R&B, and actually is dancing during this segment. I just don't even understand it, but you know what? I love her to death. My girl is back. All right, let's start with Peddling for Peace. That is next Friday. It's an event that was started by your predecessor, now Superintendent Lamont Cole. It's a great event. For people who don't know what Peddling for Peace is, what is it?
So we're in our 8th year doing Peddling for Peace. It's bringing everybody together.
That's right.
Big, happy family, all partners, stakeholders, constituents. We get on our bikes, Clay, and we ride from Government Street, Shoppers Value. Big shout out to Danielle and Shoppers Value, always showing up for us. And we ride to Howell Park. We have
where the Inspiration Center is going to be.
That's correct.
That's right. That's
with
right.
all the bright colors.
That's right.
It's looking good over there, Clay.
Yeah.
So we're going to ride there. We're going to spend some time at Howell Park, fellowship, catch our breath, of course, and then we'll be
it's
back
be
on
hot
our
as fresh
way.
biscuits out there.
Yeah,
so
and you're coming, you said.
Oh, you know what? I can't believe I double booked myself for that thing. It's like, so look, she told me my friend Chavez Kamen is going to be on the bike, and I told her I need video of him getting on the bike.
And
Vez, if you fall off that bike, it'll be the greatest thing I've ever seen ever. But you know, one of the things that you have always been about, your work with domestic violence, your work in the community, is about investment, particularly as it relates to these young people in our community that are getting into so many problems. Talk about the importance of investing to impact public safety.
Can I bring up that I was just at Melrose Elementary this morning? EBR kicked their school year off, excited to be there with our little ones, loving on them, and to see those big, bright smiles on their faces. It starts as simple as showing up at the school and saying hello to them.
I love it.
Because it lets them know that I'm here for you and I'm invested in you. Taking the time out to get to know these kids, what their needs are, what resources they're in need of, even loving on the parents at the same time, Clay, getting to know the parents as well, and making certain that we have programs and initiatives that could help to empower, inspire, and build leaders for our next generation.
Is there dialogue? Are y'all talking to the people who are a part of the Peddling for Peace event? Like, what's happening? Are y'all just going over there, or is there discussion?
Well, it's always a discussion. You know,
About
it's
how hot it is?
How hot it is. What are y'all thinking by having this event this hot in August? Because we had to reschedule due to the weather,
Yes.
of course, typical Louisiana weather.
That's right.
But when folks
Oh, I remember
are there,
that. Yeah, a few
remember
Fridays
that?
ago. And look, the funny thing was, they rescheduled because the weather was going to be so bad, and it didn't rain.
It didn't rain.
But then y'all chose
you
August,
know,
which makes it much worse.
everything happens for a reason. So everybody's looking forward to it. But while folks are waiting to get the ride going,
Yeah.
they're saying hello to each other because
Yeah.
they hadn't seen each other in a year. And getting to know their partners,
Yeah.
their neighbors, and who's there. And after the ride is done, we have a big celebration afterwards in the parking lot. Everyone is catching their breath. We're eating, we're dancing, and we're having a really, really good time. And our partners make this happen now.
Now tell me,
EBR
yeah.
School,
Yep.
Shoppers Value, we have Magnolia Peace Officer, Baton Rouge Police Department, the Sheriff Office will be there, Top 10 will be there. It's so many other partners, Clay, who make this happen for us.
Are you getting Belford on a bike too?
Oh, Belford is, no, let me tell you what Belford does. Belford rides in his patrol car.
That's what that's
And he
Belford.
bypasses
With the
and just
windows
say,
up and the
"Hello,
AC."
everybody, you all right? You need help? That's what Belford does.
That's what Belford.
Yeah,
That
yes.
sounds about Belford. Listen, offer some food. He'll come out
Oh.
there. That's how you get him anyway.
You said that.
No,
I didn't. I didn't.
Look, Angel knows our board meetings. He shows up at those board meetings because we have some food there. That's right. I said it.
I have Belford's back. I'm
Say
not
what?
saying that. I have his back.
I
I'm
don't
not
like
saying
you, Belford.
that.
No, I'm just kidding. That's my brother. He actually is going to be moving his division inside of the Inspiration Center when it
Yes.
opens. And I'm hoping next year we will be able to be the launch point for
Yeah.
your Peddling for
Oh,
Peace.
yes. I am so excited about the Inspiration Center. Safe space.
Yes.
And those colors that the photo
like
you sent.
that?
Oh,
Y'all
you
gotta
know,
drive
when it
by
comes to
Winborn
bright
to see
colors,
it.
I'm on it.
We're going
I'm
to talk
on it.
about that with Angel. Speaking of colors, come here, Kamira. My intern is here today, and she's in these dashing colors
That's
right here.
right. These
Everybody
Southern
recognize these
University.
colors? Look at that. There you
Yes,
go.
yes,
Kamira
yes,
Dalton,
yes.
a student at the Southern University. She
University,
also
yes,
interns
yes,
with us,
yes.
and she was Youth of the Year at Boys and Girls Clubs. Speaking of which, the CEO of Metro Louisiana's Boys and Girls Clubs will be in the next segment. Back with that in just a moment. And here's where you can catch the show, by the way. It streams every Friday morning on WAFB.com, and on the app, you can catch it Friday night at 7, replaying on Saturday at 3. Set that DVR. It's on YouTube too, y'all. I swear, I do not know what's in the air during commercial breaks on this show. Don't worry about it. I won't tell them what was just going on in here. Angel Nelson is the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Louisiana. She's also vice chair of the Louisiana Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. She'll be inside of the Inspiration Center starting January of next year. We got deets about that we will share with you in the coming weeks. We'll get old Lamar Davis to come and be a part of that conversation too. All right. First, let's start with Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Louisiana. Talk about what's happening with y'all right now.
We are ramping up for school.
Yeah.
I mean, we start our school year after school program actually Monday.
Okay.
And so we have 9 facilities. We have 4 here right now, 5 when the Inspiration Center opens. But Monday through Friday, we close at 6 o'clock. We focus on character and leadership development, the arts, education, of course, sports, fitness, and recreation, and healthy lifestyles. So we'll be running programs and all of those activities after school. And we also serve them a dinner and a meal.
How does a
dinner and
child
lunch,
or young
snack.
person get involved with Boys and Girls Clubs?
They just have to sign up. Their parents sign them up. They can go on our website through the parent portal. Our fee is only $25 for the whole entire year.
For the year?
For the year.
Yeah.
And they can come to the Boys and Girls Club. There's no criteria. Of course, they have to be 6 to 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, Clay. That's
So
it.
you were in the studio here when I was talking to Councilwoman Harris about her event next week and then the importance of investing. I know you and I share that same passion about the importance of investing in our kids to keep them out of trouble. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I mean we've done a lot in the time. We've known each other about 3.5 years now. We've been a part of a lot of community, 3.5 years. 15 of the longest years of my life.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. But talk about that investment part.
No, I think when we invest our tools, our resources, supporting our young people, giving them opportunities, that's where they'll be successful, right? That's where it changes communities, I mean, it changes generations. So it keeps our kids off the street, and it keeps them actually knowing that they have a future. And I think what's most important is the support. And what we're doing right now, and yes, Boys and Girls Clubs, we do that, our partnerships are great. But, and I hate to say this again, but when the Inspiration Center opens, Clay, and what made this so successful is the partnerships that we had.
Yeah.
And so it shows the kids in the community that we care.
And we can work together.
Absolutely. And so I think that is so, so important that we make sure that we support our kids and whatever they need for whatever they want to do, whether it's going to college, whether it's going to the workforce, whether it's going in the military, whatever path that they want to take, they know that they have people to support them. I think that's so important.
You know, it's one of those missing elements in public safety for so many. It's like the investment part of this. And granted, our foundation also supports enforcement. We've, you know, helped raise money to buy technology to get bad actors off the street. So it's not like we don't believe that arresting people is unnecessary. However, kids are kind of caught in that space, a lot of them in inner city communities where they don't have the direction to choose one way or the other. It's almost chosen for them. And so I appreciate the work you do. What's your North Star at Boys and Girls Clubs? Like your driving force for what y'all do?
I mean, it's really trying to support our youth, I think. I'm making sure that they graduate on time with a plan for the future, with their future. And so, look, I'm proud that 96% of our kids are graduating on time.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so important. And then having that trained professional staff as well that care about our kids.
Yeah.
Because it's different now than back in the 80s and 90s when my kids were growing up and my kids were in Boys and Girls Clubs. It's just so different now. But we have some wonderful staff that really care, and I think quality, impactful programs as well.
Yeah.
I think is important, and that's what we want to do is really give our kids hope and opportunity, give them a safe place to learn and grow, and then support them. And so, I think that's what we want to do, and that's what the Inspiration Center is going to do.
It's going to be so much fun next year, right? I can't wait
for
it. All right. Angel Nelson with the Boys and Girls Clubs. There's where you can find them online. This event's taking place in Covington, but I tell you what, next year there's going to be a lot happening here in the region based upon this building we're planning.
Yeah.
Thanks, Angel. I appreciate it.
I love you.
Up next, another one of my favorite people, a bunch of my favorite people on this show. Miss Liz Robinson will be here to talk about her story. Here is where you can find information on the C-Suite. I'm going to be talking next week with Nathan Rust, a member of the school board, about the new school year. That's Monday at WAFB.com. So Miss Liz Robinson is here, and she brought some folks with her. You see Ty at the other end, Devin's mom. You've seen this picture a lot on the show. I see pictures of Devin in this book written by Miss Liz. Pictures of it. Some of these I need to have that. But when you come to the Inspiration Center next year, there will be a room in the building themed for Devin, so we'll have a lot of Juju's pictures up in the room. Let's talk about this book, When the Music Dies, Miss Liz. Tell me about this book.
So I met a man out of Virginia, and he was willing to assist me with making that book come to life. I wanted the book. I started out with the book I wanted for my son, but then I thought about my city. I thought about the lives and the impacts that gun violence has brought to my city. So I reached out to some of the family members that has been impacted by gun violence and asked them to be a part of this book. So we have about 8 stories of gun violence, of families that have lost loved ones.
What did you gain from the experience of writing this book?
It opened up a lot to my eyes because I seen how people's last words was to their families, the impact of, getting a phone call, the impact of walking in the room and seeing your baby laying there dead. It's a lot, but I just wanted to bring that to our city to show them that this doesn't just affect me, this affects our whole city.
Yeah. We were talking during commercial break, and she was saying how people can't get through the book because it's so emotional, and I'm going to get into it this weekend. Obviously, we talked about Devin, we talked about Lewis, and this is Lewis's daughter, by the way. You're close enough to me where they can hear you. What's your name?
Samaya.
And you go to school where?
CSAP.
10 years old? See, that's my people. Miss Liz was complaining because she got between us here on the set. But for families who are the unheard, in other words, families who are victims of gun violence who people may not know, right? Because there's a lot of them out there.
Correct.
What would you say to people on the outside looking in about the grief of losing a loved one and the impact of broken systems in solving those cases?
So what happens is everybody go on with their lives. You know, everybody going with their lives, and we're still stuck in that day that we got that phone call, that day that we got that knock at our door. Our 3 of our murders are unsolved.
Yep.
You know, and people are hurting. You know, so that book is just to show that people are still hurting. Kids are being affected by this. You know, so I just want to bring awareness to where that we have to stop killing each other.
Where can people buy the book?
You can buy it on Amazon, or you can reach out to me on social media. I have a couple of them with me.
Yes, because she had to bring my book in there. You can't come in here and not bring my book. You know what I would like y'all to do? I want y'all to come sit with me on my podcast, the 3 of y'all, next week, because we've been talking about getting you to do something on television or whatever for a while. You did a little something with Kathy a few weeks ago, so she'll talk. But I really want to get heavier into, because y'all came on the show earlier this year.
Right.
I want to get heavier into that fact, how broken systems impact the families that are left behind. But there is so much senseless violence still happening. Last Sunday was extremely violent in Baton Rouge.
And we visit those moms. My organization changed. We go and visit those families. I mean, and they don't even understand what they're about to be on. This is a journey, you know. But also with the book, I do want to tell you that I do have a book signing Sunday.
Where's the book signing?
At Martin Luther King Center on Gus Young.
Right.
4000 Gus Young, and it's at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Go meet the fabulous Miss Liz Robinson. Buy one of these books. You cannot have mine. They'll be on the C-Suite, not this coming Monday, but the next one. Y'all have a great weekend. Good luck, kids.